Okay, so I'm going to mute everyone at home. Great. And we will start out just taking a nice, comfortable seated position. So just let yourself settle. And I have a candle that I'm going to light again today. And if anyone at home has a candle nearby and you'd like to light that for your practice as well, you can do that. But if not, I will light one for all of us. So we did talk a little on Monday about creating a bit of a ritual around your yoga practice, even if it's just for a few minutes in the morning. It's nice to take some time and make it special. So even just taking a moment to light a candle, some people like to light some incense or put on a soft light, maybe some soft music, things like this. There's, in a way, soul, our truest, deepest part of ourselves, is, some people say, is a little shy and likes to be kind of coaxed out. So setting the ritual is kind of part of that. You can think of it like a way of courting your higher self and saying, hey, I'm here, I'm making this effort, I'm creating this special time for us to be together, us being you and your higher self. So it's a nice way to begin our practice. And especially right now at this time of the year, we talked about this on Monday as well, that we're in a transition time right now. This is the winter solstice that just happened yesterday morning. There was a moment where the sun appears to stand still in the sky. And it's the moment where we shift from our days getting shorter and shorter and shorter and to this transition point where now our days are going to begin to get longer and longer again. So this is the return of the sun. And this time of transition right now is a time where the veil between this physical world, this reality that we live in, the veil between this place that we know and the place of spirit or the imaginal realm is more thin. So it's a time when we may feel more intuitive, or we may feel more connected to our own inner wisdom. So let's really kind of, in a way, take advantage of that time, of this time of transition. It's that space in between. And this happens also every morning at dawn and every evening as the sun is setting. We're in those transition times again. And these are times also when we maybe just have more access. It's a little easier for us to connect to our own intuitive wisdom. And we have these moments in every breath. So in between the inhale and in between the exhale. So the moment, the opportunity for us to make a deep connection within is always there with us in every moment. So I'm going to go ahead and light our candle. It's also said that the solstice is really a time to remember those that are in the world of spirit now. So I know we've all lost ones that we love, maybe this year, maybe in previous years, doesn't really matter when. Bring these people into your awareness now, and we're going to light a candle for them in their honor, to all those who we've loved, all those who we do love, and especially those who are now in the world of spirit. Okay, so sit well. Let yourself make a connection to the earth now. Listen to your breath and allow yourself to really arrive right here in this moment. I had an interesting experience last night. As I went to sleep, I asked for guidance. I just opened myself up and said, what do I need to know? What do I need to remember? And I went to sleep. And at one point in the middle of the night, I sat bolt upright in bed, and this thought in my head was, let go of the goal and give yourself fully to the present moment. Let go of the goal and give yourself fully to the present moment. Let go of our attachment to the outcome, to where we think things are going, and allow yourself to be fully present right where you are. Give yourself fully to the present moment. Can you give yourself fully to this moment as you feel your grounded connection to the earth? And as we anchor and ground and connect to the earth, invite your heart to flower. Keeping those hips and legs nicely connected to the earth. On an inhale, let's sweep our arms wide out to the sides and reach your arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, bring your arms back down. So feel yourself rooted and planted here. Inhale, grow and lengthen up out of those roots. So we're not unplugging, we're rooting in more. Exhale, returning to the earth, stay long and open through your heart. Inhale, expand, grow, lengthen. Exhale, returning to the earth with that wide open heart. One more. Good. And then we're going to just do some of our spinal movements here. So moving the chest around in circles. Either direction is fine. Circumduction here, moving around the central axis, and then you can rotate the other way. One more. Coming back to center here, do a little twist to the right. So rotating around that central axis of the spine now. And second side. Just a little good morning wake up twist. Come on back around to face forward. Inhale, we're going to send the heart forward. Exhale, round and roll back onto your sitting bones. So just find a rhythm with this, inhaling and exhaling. So thinking again of that central line of the spine, and we're just kind of waving energy through the spine, forward and back. And coming back upright, bring right arm to the right, left arm alongside your ear. And you could take a little bow towards the earth. And then roll your heart more open so your heart actually rolls up towards the sky. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, second side. Side bend here. And then bow a little more towards the earth. Reach through the pinky side of the hand. And then begin to roll slowly, letting that heart rise and open like the sun. And inhale, come all the way up from there. Let's do our sliding of the rib cage now from side to side, and it's kind of fun to get the arms involved, a little snake-like movement here as we slide the rib cage one way and the other way. Again, noticing how we can move around this central line of energy in the body. Okay, coming on back to center now. Let's come up to hands and knees, and you'll probably want your padding for your knees, unless you're on a nice carpet at home. Okay, so coming up onto your knees, we'll start today on your forearms. So bring those forearms to the earth, pull your hips back and lengthen out your spine. Let go of the goal and give yourself fully to the present moment. Teachings like this are so simple and so basic, and it's like, oh yeah, I know that. But when we really sit with them, what would that mean? What would that look like in your life to give yourself fully to each moment? Go ahead and shift now up onto the tips of your elbows, letting your fingers point more towards the sky. When our mind is distracted and worrying about the future or lamenting or going over the past, we are not in full engagement with the present moment. We're going to try a little tricky one here. Bring your hands to the floor, so a little karate chop gently with the outer edge of your hands. Lift your elbows up away from the floor. Soften your heart. This is getting more into that outer armpit area here. Think of the arms still kind of lifting towards the sky as the heart softens through. Hips are drawing back. Spine is lengthening. Good. Come on up. Hands and knees. On an inhale, lengthen your right arm forward. Exhale, bring your right arm behind your left, coming to a twist. You can come up on your left fingertips and just ease your way into a nice twist here. Either stay in this position or bring that left hand back towards your sacrum, or even stretch it back behind you more. Nice big breath. Draw the sides of the throat back, press back through the back of the skull to help with your twist. Exhale, come on back around, face forward. Inhale, lengthen left side body. Exhale, bring left arm behind your right. Come on up under those fingertips, rolling the heart open. So press that left arm down into the earth a little to twist your heart more towards the right. Right hand can come behind, maybe finding the sacrum, maybe even drawing up and back. Draw that head back. Keep the neck nice and clear. Keep the breath deep and full. Exhale. Come back around. Good. Inhaling. Soften your heart towards the earth, lifting the sitting bones and lifting the crown of your head. Exhale, tuck your tailbone and round your spine way up towards the sky. Let's keep flowing. Inhaling, soften. Exhaling, round. Next, exhale, round, and then go ahead and press that rounded spine all the way back towards child's pose. So settling in here. Okay, you can reach your arms back out in front, and we're heading up to downward facing dog now. So we'll take our socks off if you still have your socks on. Okay, and then press yourself up and back, downward facing dog. So curl those toes under, keep a little bend in your knees. Lengthen your spine. Let's bring your feet up to your hands now. So we'll be in a forward fold near the front of your mat, bowing over your legs. Go ahead and take your left hand to the outside of your right shin and just walk your right hand over to the right a little and pull yourself in towards that right leg. And then come through center, left hand to the left, right hand to the outside of your left shin. Draw yourself in. Back to center, bow in one more time, and then inhale, sweep those arms wide out to the sides, come all the way up to stand tall. Exhale, bring your arms down. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, bend your knees and hinge at the hips. Lengthen your spine forward. We've been spending a lot of time on this. Get those hips nice and heavy. Grow your heart away from your hips. Try not to hang your head. So it doesn't mean you have to jut your chin out, but lift the sides of the throat, lengthen from your heart through the crown of your head as those hips pull you back. Inhale, come on up, nice long spine. Exhale, arms come down. Let's try again. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hinge. Heels are heavy, hips are pulling back. Hinge forward and eventually come down to a forward fold. Legs can head towards straight once you get down there, but they don't have to fully straighten. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. So slide your hands high enough on your legs that you can get your spine to really lengthen out. Exhale, bow over your legs. Inhale, come up to that extended spine position again, then bring that nice long spine all the way back up. Very different from coming up with a rounded spine. Let's try again. Inhale, extend, exhale. We're reaching and lengthening the spine all the way down. Eventually the rounding comes in when we get down to our forward fold. Now try to bring that rounding out of it as we inhale and extend the spine long. Exhale, bow in. Inhale, extend that spine long and reach for the sky. Good. Exhale, release your arms. So let's take our legs nice and wide. We're not going to go all the way into our standing pose yet. We're coming down into a nice wide squat. So your knees are going in the direction of your toes. Come on down low. You can go up and down a little bit, just warming up these legs. Good. And then next time you come down, place your hands on above your knees here, thumbs forward. Big inhale. Exhale, draw your right shoulder across your body towards the midline. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, second side. Stay with your breath. Inhaling. Exhale. Pressing that knee wide. Inhale. Exhale, across. Good. And then back to center, an inch or two lower, and then all the way back up. Good. You might bring your feet just a little closer. We're going to scoop up the earth and the sky. We've done this one before. This is kind of a Tai Chi move. Squat down, take a big scoop of earth energy. So we're nice in a big squatted position here, wide through the legs. Bring that energy up through your body, and at your heart, we shift and take a drink of the sky, pouring it down, scooping up the earth and the sky. I like to do this with one breath, so it's like a big inhale. And then we're exhaling this whole time as we go down to the earth, and then we're inhaling, exhaling. Stay with the rhythm of your breath. And if you need more, you also can do this breath where you're inhaling every time you scoop, whether it's the earth or the sky, and just exhaling in the transition. So you can do it either way. if you feel like you need more breath than that. Okay, we're going to do one more earth and one more sky. Bringing that energy all the way down this time. Work your feet back towards one another. Okay, you can come in now with your legs close. Let's bring the legs all the way together. See if you can even touch the inner edges of the feet. Some of you will even be able to touch the knees, the thighs, the shins, hug in a lot. Now lift your toes off the floor. You might feel like you're going to fall over. That's fine. Okay, now squeeze the legs and lift your heels off the floor. It's a little trickier. Come down, lift your toes, come up, lift your heels. We're going to just go back and forth a few times. Try to take it slow. Squeeze a lot through those legs. Good. And then coming back down, you can turn yourself back around towards the front of your mat because we're going to be stepping the legs back. You also might want your padding set up for your knees. Okay, so up near the front, inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, lengthen your spine all the way forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine and look up. Exhale, step all the way back, plank pose. Find that nice long line through your body here. Okay, shift back, downward facing dog. Totally fine to bend the knees. Let's inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward dog. Keep flowing. Spread those fingers. Make really solid, clear contact through the hands, the four corners of the hands, the fingertips, the fingers themselves, the center of the hand, the arch of the hand is still slightly lifted. Good. Reach all the way back, downward facing dog. And then bring your knees to the floor, and we're going to step your right foot forward into a low lunge. Coming upright. Give the legs a hug in towards one another. Inhale, reach for the sky. One more breath in. Exhale, hands to your front knee and come to twist, hooking your left elbow outside of your knee, palms together. So you can stay right here, hugging those legs together, lengthening your spine. A few of you might curl the back toes under and extend your back leg long. Just an option. Either way, that heart is opening. Good. Exhale, release the knee, come back around to face forward. Curl your toes, back toes under. See if you could lift the knee up from here. Option is to keep your knee on the floor, but for some of you, we're going to bring hands up to that front knee. So hips are facing forward on your mat. Hug those legs towards each other. Squeeze your leg muscles. Connect to your foundation. Inhaling, reach for the sky. So tailbone keeps anchoring us towards the earth, but we're lengthening through that left leg at the same time as we lift and open through the heart. One more breath in. Exhale, hands to the earth, extended lunge. Straighten out that right leg or head in the direction of straight. Does not have to fully straighten. Bend your knee and extend. If you want, when you extend, you could even rock up onto your right heel. Back and forth a few times. You set your pace for this. Good. One more time in that extension. Lengthen out the spine here, lengthening over your leg. And then settle your way back down. You can bring left knee to the floor, step yourself back, downward facing dog. We're going to rock again a little bit. Inhaling forward, exhaling downward dog. Spread the fingers and really connect into the hands, into the earth as we shift forward and back. Okay, bring your knees back to the floor. This time, step your left foot forward into a low lunge. Hands come up. Stabilize the legs. Inhale, reach for the sky. So hips are rooting, heart is lengthening and flowering. One more inhale. Exhale, hands to your front knee. Take it to a twist. So you've got an option here to curl those back toes under and lift your right knee off the floor. Okay, come on back down, facing forward. Option here is to lift the back knee off the floor again. So we'll play with this. Bring your hands up to your front knee. Inhale, reach for the sky. So notice, the more you root the tailbone down, the more the back knee wants to bend. The more we extend the back leg straight, the more the pelvis tips forward. We're going to reach the back leg straight, lengthening through the inner leg, through the inner heel, but anchor the tailbone at the same time. Lift and extend the heart. One more breath in. Exhale, hands to the earth, and just begin to stretch the left leg straighter, and then settle back into your lunge. So back and forth. If you want to exhale back and lift up onto the heel, pulling the toes towards you, you can do that. So inhaling and exhaling. Okay, one more time in that extended position, extend your spine as well. Lengthen it out. And then ease your way back down to the earth. Right knee comes down, pull your leg back, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to bring your right foot forward into a lunge. So on an inhale, lift your right leg. As you exhale, step all the way forward. Just take your time if it doesn't happen in one step. Spin your back foot flat. We'll come up to warrior two. So right leg is forward, left leg is back. And we're extending the arms, balancing the heart right over the hips. Okay, inhale, straighten both legs. Reach for the sky. Exhale, back to warrior two. Stay with your breath. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Shoulder blades descend. One more. This time, touch your back leg. Come into a crescent. Keep descending through the right thigh as we lift and open the heart. One more breath in. Exhale to side angle pose. Left arm comes alongside your ear. Widen that whole left side body up towards the sky as we scoop the right sitting bone under and extend through the right knee. Inhale all the way up to standing, both legs straight. You may want to have your block outside of your right foot for this, for triangle pose. Big breath in, extend, exhale nice and long over that right leg. Hand comes to rest maybe on your shin, maybe on a block, possibly the floor, but for most of us, the floor is a little too far away. If we want to try to keep this heart nice and open, draw both shoulders back, shoulder blades down your back. Take your top arm alongside your ear. Hips are anchoring towards the wall behind you. Heart is growing nice and long. Extend. Hug the legs towards each other. Let's play with lifting the bottom arm as well. And then inhale all the way up. Bring your feet to face forward. Outer edges of the feet in alignment with the outer edges of your mat. Bend your knees and extend the arms forward. This is like that functional forward fold that we did before. So bend those knees, send the hips back, grow long through the spine all the way down. Hands eventually come to the earth. Keep those heels heavy as you tiptoe the fingers forward. We want a sense of traction here, like our hips are being pulled towards the wall behind us, our thigh bones anchoring back as the armpits and the heart lengthen forward. We're not, again, like lifting the head really hard, but we're also not dragging it down towards the earth. Find the energetic extension through the spine and let that move all the way through the neck, the throat, the palate, the crown of your head. Lining ourselves up with this big river of energy that flows through us. Okay, you can walk your hands back and just pivot yourself back into a lunge over your right leg. So you're facing back towards the front of your mat again. Step back, downward facing dog. Bring your knees to the floor, come down to child's pose. Let those hips rest towards your heels. Let your spine gently round over your legs and really lengthen out. Okay, coming up to downward facing dog for the second side. On an inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale all the way into a lunge. Spin that back foot flat, pivot your way up, warrior two. Hug your legs in strong. Inhale, straighten your legs, reach tall, find your center. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, hips stay anchored, heart extends. Exhale, heart stays open even as we settle back into our pose. One more, extend and lengthen. Exhale, warrior two. Finding this moment. Touch your back leg, lift your left arm. Let go of the goal and give yourself fully to the present moment. One more breath in. Exhale, side angle pose. Can we see some of the ways that we hold ourselves back from diving more fully into this moment and every moment in our lives? From allowing ourselves to really step in and make a full connection. Inhale all the way up, both legs straight. Exhale, triangle pose. Take your time, lengthening the limbs, the arms and the legs, lengthening the spine, that core line of the body. Letting the breath help you find space inside. Take your top arm alongside your ear. Anchor through the outer edge of that right foot. Can we lift the bottom arm as well? So hug center with the arms, with the legs. Inhale, rise, turn your feet forward. Outer edges of the feet parallel to the outer edges of your mat. Bend your knees a lot. Make it squatty. Lengthen forward. Hips are pulling back. Heart is growing nice and long. Eventually bring your hands down to the earth. You can stay in this extended position at first. Hips anchor back. Armpits lengthen the shoulders and the heart forward. Let's bring your left hand underneath of your heart, and then take your right hand, and we're going to actually draw. You can kind of stick your thumb out and just trace your thumb along the inner edge of your left arm to your left shoulder. Pull the right shoulder back. Keep going with that thumb tracing, and eventually extend your right arm all the way up to the sky. If that's too much, you just put your right hand back on your sacrum. Hips anchor back. Spine lengthens. Roll that heart open. Exhale. Switch. Right hand to the earth. Left hand, make it like a hitchhiker thumb. Trace it up the inner edge of the right arm to the inner shoulder. Trace it across your heart to the left shoulder. Extend all the way up to the sky. Draw the sides of the throat back. Maybe that gaze goes upright. That's a little too much for most of us. So you might just be gazing straight out to the left. Let the breath help you expand into your pose. Let the breath help you expand into this moment of your experience. Fill it up with your presence, with your awareness. One more breath in. Exhale back around. Bend your elbows, walk your hands back. Stretch the crown of your head towards the earth. Shoulders are still lengthening away from the ears, even as we bow in deep here. Okay, bring yourself back upright. We're going to pivot back into a lunge over your left leg. Step back, plank pose. And then lower to the floor. You can always put your knees down first. Okay, as we come down, we'll bring hands next to your chest. Press your feet into the earth. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders away from the floor gently. Exhale, come on back down. So we're not even pushing with the hands at all. You could even let your hands hover away from the earth as we inhale and lift, and then we exhale and lower. Inhaling, exhaling. This time maybe you could lift your toes as well. Inhale, exhale. So we're engaging the back body gently. Shoulder blades down the back as we engage and extend. Exhale. Stay with your breath. Does not have to be a big movement. This little bit that we do, just this bit of engagement, meeting ourselves right where we are, is enough. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about where it's going. Be here in the engagement in this moment. Exhale, come on down, and just give yourself to the earth. Don't hold anything back. Let the earth hold you. Let your heart melt. Okay, let's come back around to face forward. You can come up onto your right forearm and bend your left knee to take hold of your foot with your left hand. If you need to roll to the side to get hold of your foot, you can do that. You're more than welcome to. Okay, but we'll just play with this variation for some of us where the hips are going to point straight forward, shoulders are still pointing straight forward, even as we reach back and take hold of that foot. So pull the foot in close, but lengthen through the knee at the same time. You've got a little bit of kind of kicking the foot back into the hand, keeping that quadricep muscle engaged even as we stretch and lengthen here. Okay, exhale, release, spread your toes and keep that foot really active all the way down. And then we're going to switch to the second side. Pulling your foot in close. You can offer a bit of resistance, pressing your foot back into your hand or your arm, lengthening through the knee. Exhale, release. Come on down, hands next to your chest, point your toes. This time we're going to lift up to cobra pose. So you can engage your back muscles first, kind of see where you end up, shoulder blades down your back, and then go ahead and get your hands more involved. Starting to curl up, anchor through the tailbone, reaching the hips towards the wall behind you as the heart lengthens away. Shoulder blades down the back, heart is melting, softening, opening. When you come down, hug that belly in gently. Try to keep the traction, keep the length in the spine all the way back down to the earth. Bend your knees, press yourself up through a modified push-up, and then you get to do just a few of those up and down. Maybe you're doing smaller ones. If we have trouble holding the body steady in a straight line, we're going to just do a very small movement. But some of you are going all the way up and down. And then we're going to come up and back, child's pose again. Rest, relax, melt, breathe. Let's just play with walking ourselves up to seated. This doesn't necessarily work for everyone to sit on your feet, but we'll play with that. If you're having difficulty with this, because it can be kind of tight in the quads and you might even feel something in your knees, option is to sit higher. You could tuck your block back there under your sitting bones. And you can't even make it higher. Just if you're doing that, make sure you're steady and you're not going to wobble off of it. Okay, but find a place here where we can sit. Okay, and some of you who are sitting on the feet, you could even point your toes and widen your feet out a little, making room for you to sit inside of the ankles. Just an option. Okay, so use as much height as you need. This is definitely not about trying to see how much we can handle in the knees. This is really more just extending those quadricep muscles, recognizing that some of the tension that we feel in the knees is often because these quadricep muscles are tight and pulling on the knee. So you can even with your hands just kind of massage out these quadricep muscles, just kind of pressing up and down, almost like a rolling pin. Good, and then sitting through the hips, inhale, lengthen through the spine, reach for the sky. Exhale, bring your hands down, come on up out of that, hands to the earth, downward facing dog. So take your feet about as wide as your mat, and then grab the edges of your mat with your hands. This is our frog dog. So you're going to actually hold onto the outside edge of your mat. Feet are wide. Now bend your knees a lot and try to make your knees as wide as your ankles. So we're staying really wide. Bend the knees a lot. Sitting bones lift towards the sky. Roll the inner thighs back and really tip that sacrum in. This is our frog dog. Good. Now bring your hands out of that so they're back on the floor, and just kind of shift your hands from side to side, walking yourself back, knees bent. Could we come down into a squat? And you have your block close by, so if squatting doesn't work so great, you could always tuck your block underneath of your sitting bones. You could walk your feet in a little closer for some of you. If you need to come up higher as well and not be down this low, that's also fine. If you're able to come into your squat, use your arms to widen your legs out. We're going to go flying here for a moment. Okay, so hands come to the earth. We're coming up to crow pose. Hands on the earth, and your knees come up towards your armpits or your upper arms. Shift your body forward and maybe lift 1 foot away from the floor. Okay, you could shift back and try to lift the other foot. Some of you will play a little bit with lifting both feet. Really pull the feet up as you draw the hips down. Breathe deep. Just a little place to play. Also fine to be just working on your squat here at this point. Okay, let's all release out of that. And then make your way up to a nice downward dog. Moving towards pigeon pose now. On an inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, bring your right knee way up towards your right hand. Laying that leg down, slide your left knee back. So hips are mostly square towards the front of the room. We want to have a sense of pulling the right hip back and the left hip forward to bring the hips more in line with one another. It is fine to start to release down towards elbows. Some people like to have a block and kind of rest there as well. With each inhale, let's hug those legs towards each other and gently squeeze the muscles from skin to muscle to bone, just like you're hugging into yourself. And as you exhale, soften the pelvis closer to the earth and extend through the legs, like you're trying to make the legs grow longer. Inhaling, hug in. Exhaling, soften and extend. Just playing with that rhythm here. Okay, keeping those hips anchored, begin to lengthen your way back upright. You can either just lengthen in this position or bend your back knee and reach your left hand back towards your left foot, coming to a thigh stretch. Okay, exhaling, step back. You can go straight back to downward dog or join me through a vinyasa. Come to plank pose, lower down. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, long spine all the way back down. Come on up and back, downward facing dog. And then we're ready for the second side. Inhaling, lift your left leg. Exhale, bring it forward. Slide that right knee back. Hips extending towards the earth. You can walk forward over your left leg. Let's find that rhythmic breathing again. Inhaling, hug the legs in towards one another, engaging the leg muscles, plugging back into your center, back into yourself. Exhaling, extend those legs long, settle your hips closer to the earth. So just finding a rhythm with your breath, connecting to this pulsation. All right, we're going to start to walk back up onto our hands. Lengthen your spine. And then maybe bring a bigger thigh stretch into it by bending your right knee and reaching your right hand back for your foot. Okay, exhale, release, downward facing dog. And then bring yourself down to a seated position. And you're welcome to sit up on a little height if you'd like. Give yourself some padding. Okay, bring your right leg straight out to the right. Bend your left leg in. And then turning towards your right leg. Stay nicely rooted through both legs as you begin to extend forward. Next inhale, rise up and switch. Staying very connected through the legs, through the hips. Don't worry about how far you go. Stay nicely rooted and lengthen over the leg. Okay, let's inhale, rise back up, bring both legs in. This is our butterfly pose. Hugging the feet in towards one another, widen those knees out towards the sides. And you're more than welcome to have hands behind you, especially if you find the pelvis wanting to roll backwards. Okay, but if you're up for it, you can bring hands to your feet and begin to lengthen forward over your legs. We have moved through this big transition into the return of the light. What is the new awareness that is beginning to dawn inside of you? You don't have to know it or name it, but just open up to this idea that we are connected to the rhythm of nature, to the cycles of life. And just as the light begins to return to the earth, the light begins to shine brighter within you. So staying open to see what is revealed as that light within shines brighter and brighter. You can inhale and bring yourself back up and then shift around, coming down onto your back. Give your knees a squeeze into your chest as you come down. You can put socks back on or long sleeves if it's chilly at home. Get comfortable. Coming down onto your back, we're squeezing those knees into your chest. And then holding onto your right knee, stretch your left leg all the way out along your mat. Roll onto your left hip and stretch your right shoulder back to the right. So just a nice gentle twist here through the spine. Inhaling, come back up to center, switch. So we pull the left leg in close and stretch that right leg long along the earth. And then roll onto your right side. Reaching your left shoulder back to the earth, extending your left arm. Breathe deep. Remember this space between the hips anchoring one way and the heart flowering the other. And in between, the space inside of us opens up. Inhale all the way back up to center. Give those knees another squeeze, and you can even shift this into happy baby pose if you'd like. Hold on to the outer edges of your feet, maybe even rock a little from side to side. And then when you're ready, release your feet to the earth, stretch your legs out long, coming down into Shavasana on your back. I know a lot of times, many of us probably feel like, well, we already got the workout portion in, so I have other things to do. I'm going to skip Shavasana and move on. Take this time. This is that space in between, one of those magical spaces that we've been talking about, this liminal place where it's not one thing or another. The space where seeming opposites touch one another, light and dark, day and night, inhale and exhale, matter and spirit. These places where we connect. These spaces that seem like boundaries, dividing lines that cuts it in half and divides the day into the night, are actually the places where they connect and melt into one another. The places that show us our connection to one another, to the energy that is present within all of us, to the web of life. So take this time, be in this space, in Shavasana, this space in between. As you listen to your breath, let there be just a gentle pause in between. the inhale and the exhale, and in between the exhale and the inhale. Just a moment. Just a moment where we allow ourselves to experience the space between, the places where the seeming opposites connect and touch one another. You can begin to deepen the flow of your breathing now. Breathing right into your heart center. Let your heart expand and bring some gentle movement back to fingers and toes, arms and legs, starting to move and stretch. When you leave your yoga mat and go back into your day, you don't have to leave your connection to your higher self, to the energy that is present in all of us and that weaves us all together into this web of life. Every time we practice, we become more engaged with this energy. Let go of the goal. Give yourself fully to the present moment. Let's see if we can let that stay with us as we move into this holiday season, allowing ourselves to really be in it. You can eventually make your way towards your side and all the way back up to seated. Just taking your time to bring yourself back. Setting an intention to move into the holidays, into this space of connection and celebration with one another, with family, with friends, with those that we love, moving into that space from this deeper place of connection, letting that light within you shine brighter. And we don't know where it's going. We don't know where we're going to end up. And that's the beauty of it. We let the light within us shine and show us the way forward in every moment. So let's bring our hands together in front of our hearts and honoring the return and the shining of the light within each of us and all of us. Namaste.